Hello, I want to talk to you about logic. I'm not a doctor. Logic is obfuscated with the sciences, intersciences, since semi-ancient times. Physical delusions are being propagated by psychology. Logic is about the nature of volume, which is simultaneously inherent, active, and progressive natures of volume that are bonded as a semi-nature, complete nature relationship to itself, wherein how everything is only one nature of volume expanding as a complete nature's relationship to itself. So there's a finite nature of volume that is in demonstration to itself with and as the value to and as the order of the finite, as the value of the order of the finite, simultaneously by being the value to active body of invisible but still discernible active value, body of value discernment, value, and progressions value discernment simultaneously. When we value those three things simultaneously, positive all ways, not denying exceptions, this demonstrates the science that causes positive value nature progressions as a positive relationship to the identity that all things at once share, or a negative relationship. And this is the difference of Earth's simultaneously distinct and non-distinct value in relationship to the rest of space nature. So this is immediate space nature in relationship to us. I use that phrase, then someone else uses the phrase. In relationship to where and how the complete identity of everything at once is simultaneously distinctly and non-distinctly onto all parts of itself. So it's debatable, but it's demonstrable how we are there is an inherent nature of volume, an active nature of volume, and a progressive nature of volume, and how they are bonded, like the four directions, by an identity coming in from greater than that, right to left, and greater than that, left to right, greater than that, overall up, and greater than that, overall down. At the same time, right to left and left to right distinctly and non-distinctly, and demonstration simultaneously, all directions at once, as what is a nature of volume, our value as nature, which has an identity of relationship to itself as positive or negative. Since semi-ancient times, the sciences of states and areas, criminally foreign influence Campus Marcia, criminally foreign influence value of states, areas, and nations. As criminally foreign influence, hundreds of nations sharing one identity that knew it before that was criminally foreign influence, that we are one nature of volume, as species, as group sexes, and as individual. Individual finite value is the order to the finite, to and as the value of the finite. Grouped / sexes is the order to that value simultaneously. And progression value as what's going to cause positive or negative value nature progressions into its identity of value. Progression perfect. This is the identity that makes inventions work or not, and further positive or negative in relationship to its identity or not, as science. So the reason we can conceive things with the mind, like overall, like finite identity of value progressions, active body of value progressions, and all identity of value progressions at once. We could see them because the identity nature is great, was a value progression before there was physical matter, physical space. Then that bond that generated that bond, it was already an identity of value, a value progression, self-generating. So now it's another nature value with the physics as a quality of diffusion, as an active, and as the value progressively to what is all three of those things at once. So the Trinity and the five pillars of Islam were revealed to teach this. Also about how to understand this, for example, using the name Allah, it's a simultaneous nature. If we're not understanding how it's a simultaneous nature, that all different names of God at the same time are referring to when they're without criminal foreign influences, then we're not understanding what they're talking about. This is about simultaneous nature. The only way the complete nature and the complete nature of relationship to itself, that it's positive, can be an identity that is incapable with this nature otherwise. But because all the simultaneous nature, that's why we have sexes. Our value is simultaneous nature. Everything in demonstration is, because then the value of everything at once together is a positive or negative value nature progression. As positive here, or as a force from here, Leth of Hadith, as a negative relationship to what makes Earth simultaneously, distinctly, and non-distinctly, as Earth's immediate space nature difference. The rest of Earth has no criminal foreign influences. So logic is about the identity and nature, about the identity nature. Logic is about the identity that each part of the Trinity shares. And how to understand it. So we'll examine A through Z are an algebraic equation. Left to right, right to left at the same time, in all directions at once at the same time. This is how we are in nature of volume. And when we are valuing that true always, not exploiting exceptions, trying to do that as correlation nature, the top, we are always value Y. And when we were doing that as positive, also positive unto itself, it is overall up value to the top, towards the two tops of the Y, connects to the top of the Z, forces positive value nature progressions here, back towards A. When we are not doing that, our nature of volume is down, overall down, negative value nature, and as value Y, as the bottom of the Z, forced away from here, Leth of Hadith. We are a quality of diffusion as a gaining nature of volume. So, the nature is about identity nature, not just our own complete identity together, progressively, individually together, individually group them together, or even all together, a complete identity. That's still only a semi-nature relationship to this perfect value progression. Even life and death, add life and death to know what it is. Add Eve to know what it is. Its value as a simultaneous nature, because it's bigger than what is male or female, while being that, and while being its nature of relationship to the nature of the as the value of logic. See, we have logic and have. I'm not a doctor, but we have doctors originally still with criminal foreign influences and physical delusions with psychology, and that inter-sciences and inter-branch, database illusion stacking crime roles, blaming the real causes of negative value nature progressions, acts and natures on other causes, other things, exploiting them. That's why we have areas, even tactically denatured, forced with the fact treatment nature, slavery and torture of our founders. We didn't have free speech. Still that pathology forced, because that's all can be afforded by forced, criminally foreign influenced, slavery involved, slavery influenced and employed value nature systems and standards. Sick, fake positive, criminal and serious nature pretend it has integrity anyways. We're all victim predators. So logic watch Algebraic Consciousness. HTTP. At youtube.com/user/Romulus Wall. Please subscribe to Algebraic Consciousness there. At my YouTube channel. Because we're going to talk about all kinds, election crimes, everything with the physical delusions, interscience. Many nations share psychology used criminally with courts each day, with prisons. We have people of crime through time. They make mistakes on purpose, and even when by accident, they're with the nature of relationship to prisons. They're not letting people talk the whole time they're there to demonstrate. In other words, we have natures of industry, especially prisons, shared internation policing. We have shared policing, shared agreements like that, military police and stuff like that, criminally foreign influence. Delusions rot, never liberated to, sharing narratives about what voting's worth and stuff like that. Dishonestly, worse than dishonestly, criminally foreign influence, as tools, then defending that. So we're going to have to demonstrate logic misjudgments, pseudo-ratiocination, only let hurt, and how that is used to hurt areas. They're using phrases like, with pseudosciences, as grown adults, pretending that racism and that white supremacy is the cause. You can't defend that, and us from intercultural agencies that force that here. Fake sides, black and white with color. They do that. Asians, all mixed, because they did that to stay fake cultural sides. Fighting with each other at surface levels to keep the Trade Center agreement levels all fake sides. Manifest live progression, cover up natures and styles to all areas. Needs to keep the real causes of negative value, nature, progressions, action, natures blamed on other things, on others, and on selves. Needs to pretend to be about free speech that was never liberated. Needs to be criminal and serious nature, positive theater. Sensibilities, no. Needs to prevent Jane Austen from any interpretation of sense and sensibilities, not criminally foreign influenced. Delusions raw. We have ill sciences. We have ill courts switching and forging names so no one can respond to them in their sequence shifts, as Trade Center crime acts rolls, with regular cases with areas. Because we have overt criminal enterprises juxtaposed, crime acts roles, and tools with the interbranch misprision. Drug clicks, fakes together, intercampuses maintained this way since they were kids, victim-predator tools, needing to hide life progressions, federal crime acts roles, natures, actually recorded. Yeah.